And I know that, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for waiting.
Good afternoon, and I know it's been a long day for you, so I'll be brief. Andre Lovett's my name. I'm here on behalf of the Arts Centre Trust Board. We submitted on 3 points. I just want to talk to those points very briefly. The context for us is that at the Arts Centre, we need the city to be successful, and the city needs us to be successful. So we are overwhelmingly understanding and positive about what you're trying to do in terms of this plan. Firstly, point 1, in relation to heritage funding, we acknowledge and support the efforts of the council to ensure that funding is available to owners of heritage assets. We personally have been, or as a trust, have benefited from the council heritage funding that has been in place for owners over a number of years. We note that there is downward pressure on those funds, and from our perspective, we're smart enough to know what other pressures you have in terms of your funding. The big thing for us is that you're continuing to do it, and I think that's fantastic. Second thing about arts, culture and creative industries, I want to acknowledge the good work that council staff has been doing, particularly around conversations about sustainable business models with organisations that come to you and seek funds. Our observation is that there are still lots and lots of arts-based organisations who operate on the basis of an annual grant cycle and are working hard to try and break out of that. But for us, it's a conversation about timeframes. Some of them need a little bit longer to get on their feet, and also some of them need to understand that their funding's at risk, I think, if they don't actually change the way that they operate. Expectations are really, really, really high in that sector, and you know that. Finally, we are in a fantastic part of the city, a great neighbourhood that by the end of this year is going to be really back in business in many ways. Half of the Arts Centre is going to be open. We've got the gardens, we've got the museum, we've got the gallery and other things. In 2013, when we went through a process to really challenge and look at the vision for the Arts Centre in the future, one of the key points that came out of that was the value of the cultural precinct. It's a conversation that we've sought to start with council staff. We will continue to, not just council staff, but our immediate neighbours. We are strongly pushing for that, and the council is obviously an important member of that grouping. I think it will yield greater opportunities than what it did prior to the earthquakes because of what's going on in our neighbourhood. That's it. Happy to take questions.
Brilliant. Well, let me start by saying you bring joy to my life every day. I look out my window and see the progress, and I just thank heaven that we weren't your insurers. The benefits of an early global settlement.
Yep.
I see the fruits of it every day, and I just say congratulations. I take international visitors out and show them the biggest historic, heritage restoration project that the country's ever seen, and they are impressed. I'm impressed, and I can't wait till it's all reopened. And I've got a completely vested interest because I got married there. So, but well done. We're just incredibly impressed, and also for your engagement with the wider community. I was invited to be part of that as just an ordinary citizen of the city, and I felt that you were very outreaching and inclusive in your engagement, and I think that's why you're where you're at, and your status in the community reflects that. So, Ali.
Thank you.
I was just going to say as well, I mean, I lived there above the Ducks Deluxe and regularly flooded the Ducks Deluxe, living upstairs. Worked my first job at the Court Theatre, and I was walking down there today into the gardens through to the Ilex, and I looked back at that front on Rolleston Ave, And I mean, it just looks stunning. And when I looked at the amazing gardens, as you've just said too, and looked back at the building, what's happening there now could probably never ever have been contemplated or done.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not suggesting, well, I suppose I am, it is a good thing to have come out of the quakes, but I just can't wait to see it open again. It's amazing.
Me too.
Yeah. Vicky?
Can you actually tell us, please, what does open and when?
So at the moment, we've got 9 buildings underway. There's $110 million of construction underway right now. That's out of a $290 million program and 22 buildings to fix up. We have 8 buildings opening by the end of this year. That includes the College or Great Hall, all of the clock tower, the buildings in the northwest corner of the site, effectively. The chemistry building, which faces the south quadrangles, the library, the arcades that wrap around it, and the Boys High building, which sits in the eastern part of the site near Market Square. And we already have restored and opened the gymnasium and the registry additions.
So which part of it, sorry.
No, I mean, this is great.
I know we all want to know. Which part of it is the university taking up?
University, classics and music is going to be in chemistry.
Chemistry.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Fantastic. Pauline?
The museum is going to use some of it, is that right?
Pardon
The
me?
museum, are they going to be moving in there some? Not
No.
the whole museum, but are they going to
No. We are in a discussion about potentially an iconic attraction, a Christchurch-wide iconic attraction with a number of parties, including the museum.
Okay.
And the engineering buildings is where we're actually looking at that. That's part of the philosophy around the visitor experience, Christchurch requiring 2 or 3 truly iconic and Christchurch-based attractions.
Okay, and when are you thinking about that coming
Well,
to fruition?
that building is not completed until the end of next year, and you know, it's an incredibly conceptual idea at the moment.
Great, well, it's got to start somewhere. Excellent, thank you.
Ellie can have a smidgen.
Really quickly, have you found anything really odd? I mean, obviously it's a very old building. No, I'm just wondering with all the digging up and stuff, have you found...
Yeah, there weren't any foundations under the Great Hall.
Lots of beer bottles. Lots of beer bottles.
Did you really? Under
It's a university, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but were they old ones?
There's a lot. Yeah, happy to. I mean, we've got a Tumblr site that has a lot of that stuff on it. I'm happy to talk to you about that.
Roller skating down New Regent Street had always fascinated me.
Yeah. So look, there hasn't been archaeological artefacts of quite the backstory that some of the New Regent Street stuff have had. The most interesting, I think, has been the graffiti, the stuff that's on behind, 1870 timber work, for example, and messages and names,
Did Sir
addresses.
Ernest Rutherford write anything?
Might be worth some money, mightn't it? Yeah, so there is neat stuff.
Right, Yanni.
Just because I'm on the Arts Centre Trust Board, can I just have it recorded that I just, stood back from the discussion?
Oh, okay.
In terms of us uplighting the Botanic Gardens, how do you feel about that?
I'm not sure what you mean by uplighting.
Uplighting so that it's available at night to be used?
That would be great from our perspective.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Good.
we want to. I mean, when we get to talk about end users on the site, we're interested in activity right through the daytime and nighttime cycle, and certainly people coming to that part of town to visit the gardens in the evening is consistent with that.
Yeah, great. Look,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Andre. Thanks
See
for
you.
waiting too. Canterbury Neighbourhood Support, Glenda Burt.